Okay, Abby. Yes, absolutely. Of course, we'll look at the revisions. So, negative space can be really fun to work with, and I think a lot of students put too much pressure on themselves. Like, how do I do negative space? How do I do negative space? And it can be really fun and really easy. And let me give you an example. Okay, right now, just remember that center alignment is not very interesting in graphic design. That means center alignment both horizontally and vertically. So remember the rule of thirds, okay? Rule of thirds is this, is in any composition, if you draw some phantom lines, and basically it would be a 2 by 2 grid. So one there, one there, one there, one there. So then I'm roughing that. But anyway, so in that, this is called rule of thirds. So you would be left with 3 columns this way and 3 rows this way. Now where those columns and those intersecting lines, where they intersect, that is your most interesting point in any composition. So again, it's 1, 2, 1, 2. That intersection, that intersection, that intersection, and that intersection are going to be the most interesting places um, uh, for graphics in the most interesting area of a composition. So we can use that. We can also use those lines, those grid lines, to establish negative space as well. Let me show you an example. Basically, what I would do right here is 2 things. Number one, you're eliminating the amount of negative space you can use merely by the size, the sheer size of this composition is eliminating you to be able to move it around much within this composition. First recommendation would be to reduce the size a little bit. Next thing I would do is just take this whole thing and move it down. So instead of being horizontal or vertically centered, it's down a little bit, so you have more space at the top of the composition. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow the viewer a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of an area to breathe while looking at the composition, instead of kind of getting smothered around this even and almost symmetrical negative space on the top and the bottom. The next thing I would suggest with this front right here is this, and I missed this the first time around, and I was going to email you really quick and let you know, but I'm glad that you resubmitted, because now I don't have to email you. I could just tell you right now. This, I think, should be a sans serif. I do. I think it would be an interesting, now, even though you're going to have 3 typefaces on the cover, I think it's going to be a much more interesting combination having the word Teresa, the name Teresa, than Saint on Earth and Saint in Heaven in a sans, because this is serif, this is script. Let's get a sans in there so that we don't have this. This kind of looks really super formal, Saint on Earth, Saint in Heaven. I think it would relax things a little bit if we were to sans serif that. And I would move that down. I think right now it's too close to Teresa. I would say right where the baseline is of that is where the cap line should be. So something like that. Other than that, I think you're looking really, really good. Your alignment right here, this isn't a PDF. It's a InDesign file, so I can't really use it to draw guides, zoom out, and do that thing that I like. But I can use this right here. Actually, I just do this. I've got some writing on there, but I just want to get rid of that so I can use this as a straight edge. So I'm going to use this right here as a straight edge, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm just going to show you where your N should be aligned. That period is going to be kind of weird. It really is. I'm wondering if you shouldn't just say Saint on Heaven, Saint on Earth, M dash, that's M as in Michael, M dash, Saint in Heaven. What M dash does is it indicates a change in thought. So Saint on Earth, M dash, Saint in Heaven. Skip the period, pull this in alignment to not the end of the serif, but right about there. Right about there. So that the N aligns with that. Not all the way to the end of the serif, because that's going to look goofy, but right about to there, to where the meat of the letter actually starts, is where the N should be aligned. Skip the period, though, because that's going to look kind of wonky sitting off the edge there. So I would replace the periods with an M dash, and replace the type with a sans serif. And I would also, I'm not real sure about, I would use either, if that's black, I would go with a darker blue. And stay within the blue. I definitely, I wouldn't go any lighter I know I said something about gray before, but I don't think that's going to work. I think this works very well. I think that with a dark blue, not black. It might even be it's just maybe a rendering the way that it's looking on my screen. So, and then the back looks fantastic. I really do. I still think though, you said you're struggling a little bit with white space. Well, you've got all this white space down here at the bottom. Let's pull this down. All right. Right now, your top margin is about that length right there. But your bottom margin is this length right here. It's about 4 or 5 times as big as the top margin. Let's pull that down, get those. I think you're a little close on the top, a little close to a no print zone on the top. You're okay though; it's nothing bad. But I would duplicate that space right there, that margin. Bring your 1910 and your year lines all the way down there. Condense this, move this down, move this whole thing down. Get some breathing room in between the bottom. Baseline of the type and the top of the timeline. So that basically what you'll have is you'll have a little breathing area right here after the headline and another one right here after the text. Okay, and I think that'll cover your negative space. But anyways, I think that you're doing fantastic. This is one of the better pieces I've seen. So this is really, really good stuff. Any questions, give me a holler. Otherwise, thanks so much for your hard work. Great job. Thank you.